All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, Errol Spence Jr. sends a message to Terence Crawford again. Seems like Errol is not giving up on getting his undisputed title or his chance at undisputed in 147, and says or implies that he's doing it ski mask style. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division, where there's been a lot of fights announced over the last couple days, and one that has not been announced is the Errol Spence Jr. versus Keith Thurman fight, which is not done yet. And in that vein, Errol Spence Jr. went to Twitter yesterday and put out one of those cryptic tweets that he does that tells you what he really does want to do. Now, before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter to the channel, please accept my invitation, to continue to support the channel by hitting the thumbs up, sharing the videos, and thank you to everybody that supports and the super thanks of videos. It really, really does make a big difference as far as growing the channel. So thank you guys very, very much. Now let's get into this. A lot of people are tired of this subject, but it is what it is. I cover the welterweight division. I cover the lightweight division, the middleweight division, the heavyweight division, and there's a lot of things going on in the welterweight division, one of which is some fights that are supposed to be set up very soon. One between Errol Spence Jr. and Keith Thurman. It has been rumored for a while that they were going to get that done. However, Showtime Sports has announced 9 fights over 10 weeks, and one of the glaring absences in that announcement was the Errol Spence Jr. Keith Thurman fight, which Steven Espinoza, who's the president of Showtime Sports, has implied is not finished, but is close to being finished. Well, Errol Spence Jr. took to Twitter yesterday and he put out a meme, and the meme was basically a drive-by where you had a guy in a car sitting on top of, basically sitting outside the window, looking over the top of the car, slowly driving by with a ski mask on. Now, that is clearly a reference to what he has said that he was going to do with Terence Crawford, which was to spin the block, right? Which was, okay, Terence Crawford fought David Avanesyan back in December in a surprise announcement in the middle. Actually, it wasn't even an announcement. Surprise revelation towards the end of what proved to be the end of the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford negotiations to get a fight done for undisputed. Well, and then Errol Spence Jr. said he was going to spin the block. So now he puts it out there again that he's spinning the block, still looking for that fight with Terence Crawford for the undisputed title. Now, this is the first time that Errol Spence Jr. has really implied or said anything about it in a while. And of course, may not all know, but if you don't know, Errol Spence Jr. does not want to fight Keith Thurman, and has said for several years now that because Keith Thurman had frozen him out or not allowed him to fight for a unified title to unify titles when Errol Spence was the IBF champion and Keith Thurman was the WBA and the WBC champion, he felt like, he had been done wrong, and he did not want to, give Keith Thurman a shot. Like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But when Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford pulled out of the fight, then the WBA WBC rather, had ordered him to fight Keith Thurman, and that's where the negotiations begin. Now, I have to tell you, man, there's some things that I think about that. Number one, Terence Crawford is very fortunate. Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem to me that he wants to fight. Just, again, I'm going to say this over and over, and I do not care how many times you all come to my comment section trying to load it with comments about how no, Errol Spence Jr. was offered $25 million by Terence Crawford and he didn't take it. And that's why Terence didn't take the fight. I don't want to hear none of that, man, because we've been through the entire thing and we understand what was going on, at least from the outside looking in. But at the end of the day, what happened was Errol wanted the fight. Terence Crawford said he didn't, and he walked away. However, Errol Spence Jr. is somebody that is clearly very consistent and very focused and committed to what his goal is. And he went through a negotiation with Terence Crawford for a long time without taking, like 6 months. He did not take another fight. And even right now, months after he said he was ordered to fight Keith Thurman, he is still not signed for that fight, for another fight. While Terence Crawford, on the other hand, has taken a fight with David Avanesyan and now has apparently entered into an agreement with Golden Boy where they requested a mandatory fight for Alexis Rocha. Now, there were a lot of people out there saying, well, Errol's fighting Keith Thurman. He's not going to be there to spin the block. He thought what happened to him spinning the block. Guy's going to crack jokes, spinning the block. What happened to him spinning the block? Well, guess what? Guess who got a fight ordered before who? They have 20 days to come to a conclusion for a negotiation between Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy and Terence Crawford for a fight with Alexis Rocha. Otherwise, it goes to purse bid. And if they can't get something done in a purse bid, then Bud gets stripped. So more than likely, that fight right there is going to happen, right? As far as whether the WBC has to happen or not, they've already said that they'd be willing to have him fight, allow Errol and Keith Thurman to fight at 154 pounds, even though that's not been verified. But that's the WBC we're talking about. And the WBC will most definitely not strip Errol Spence Jr. They won't put Conor Benn out of the rankings for testing for impermissible, not enhancements that are not permitted, right? So they won't strip Canelo out. When was the last time the WBC actually stripped somebody or did something about somebody not following an order? Can't remember it. You know what I mean? But anyway, man, my personal thing is, look, I want to see the Keith Thurman fight because I want to see Errol Spence Jr. fight sooner than later. Errol wants that Terence Crawford fight, but I think that all Terence Crawford is going to do is and the people around him is going to use that particular that conversation as a way to promote other fights for Terence Crawford and get Terence Crawford and the people involved more money. And I don't really see any, real difference between the way that Keith Thurman has approached Errol Spence Jr. from the way that Terence Crawford approached Errol Spence Jr. And more than likely to get that bout done, you're probably going to have to wind up having Terence Crawford be in the same situation that Keith Thurman is in now. But anyway, and that is have a loss and now have to fight him with not a lot of other options. But anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.